Happy Monday, Wholesale to Million YouTube family. Hope you guys all had a fantastic weekend. We're back with another subscriber first wholesale deal interview. And, I'm bringing him on today, you guys. He closed his first wholesale deal in November 10th for, how much is it, Zach?
2,500.
2,500, you guys. He got a very interesting story, so I'm going to bring him on to share with you guys what's it, it's the same thing, his background and how he got his first wholesale deal done. Now, if you guys do enjoy this interview, remember to smash that thumbs up for me. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe for more of these. And also, too, is make sure you turn on your bell notification so that way when I go live or upload a new video, you get notified. And I hope you guys like my new mic. But anyways, you guys, let's jump right into it. And also, too, before we get into it, one last thing. If you guys haven't followed me on Instagram, hit me up on IG. Go at Khang, Khang, WTM. Also, too, is if you recently closed your first wholesale deal, drop me an email or comment in your email, and let's hook up and let's get you onto the show. And you can email me at wholesales2millions@gmail.com. And you guys put your hand together. Let's welcome Zach from Wisconsin. What up, buddy?
What's up, Khang? How you doing?
Hey, good, man. Do you have a good weekend?
I did. You're looking fresh. That bow tie is
Dude, I am really like when I first started, it was kind of a t-shirt and jeans, and sometime I kind of mix it up. And right now, I'm feeling the bow tie and the tie. And all of that, so I'll probably wear this for a while, and then I'll switch to something else.
I'm at the t-shirt and jeans stage right now myself.
Yeah, gotcha, man. So Zach, so here, man, before we dive into how you got your first wholesale deal closed, I want you to share with everybody where you were at. Like, I want to know, like, your situation, like, financially, family, if you have any kids. Like, I want to know where you're at and what leads you into this wholesaling world, man.
Yeah, so I've always been a big golfer. I've always been really into golf. So I went to college to play golf at a small school right in between Milwaukee and Chicago. And I quickly noticed that college really wasn't my thing, just like a lot of wholesalers that I've noticed. A lot of people, school isn't their top priority. You know, they're looking to start a business and start something themselves. Just like you, Khang, you weren't a school guy, were you?
Dude, drop out. I was mentally drop out freshman, but I physically out of there about junior high.
Totally know what you mean. Yeah, freshman year, I was like, I'm already not really feeling this. You know, it's just not for me. So I dropped out of college. Going to get my real estate license. Actually, I was going to be an agent. Yeah, I was really into the whole selling real estate as an agent thing. I had a job at a brokerage, and through the agent classes, through the online courses that I was taking, they kept kind of mentioning investing, and I started looking deeper into investing, and I got introduced to wholesaling that way through my real estate agent courses. So that's where I heard about wholesaling, and it's kind of funny. This is where it kind of all started for me. But I was going to take my test. I finished the courses, and I was going to take my my end test or whatever to get your license. And the building that I had to take it in was kind of out of the area that I was familiar with of Milwaukee, where I'm from. So I was like, I'm going to go early, and I'm going to do this driving for dollars thing and see what I can find. So I went like 2 hours early, and I was driving around, and I saw a house. I had a couple houses on the list that I marked down, but then I found a duplex that had some high grass, and there was a code violation on the door, actually. So I marked it down and went and knocked on some neighbors' houses, and they knew the guy that owned the house, and they had his phone number. And one of the neighbors was super nice. She gave me his number, and then I called him up, and he was motivated to sell the place. And that was actually the first cold call that I ever did. It was pretty crazy how it all happened, but first time I ever talked to a seller was that guy. and he wanted to sell it pretty bad. So that's where the deal came from, honestly. And so I went to take my test, and I was completely mentally out of it because I was so jacked up about this potential wholesale deal that I found. And yeah, to be honest with you, Khang, I failed that test so bad. I botched it. I was too pumped up about the wholesale deal that I was, I was like, oh my gosh, I might have found something here. It's a vacant duplex, and the guy wants to sell it. He sounded motivated on the phone. So I failed that test, and I didn't even really regret it much. And then I called him up, and the deal took off from there.
Gotcha, man. Zac, dude, so when we were trying to, so as we were trying to get into real estate, and I heard somebody's like, you know what, if you want to get into real estate, either, you're wholesaling, you got to get a license. And I was like, oh, shoot, man. I said, oh, man, there's no way I'm going to pass the test. Yeah. I said, you know what I mean? So, because when you first started, you hear people saying this and that, you got to get your license. It's not legal. If you don't have your license, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, man, dude, there's no way I'm going to get the license.
I'm not a good test taker. I've never been a good test taker. I get to the test and I blank out for some reason. That's always how I've been with school. And I remember some of the videos that you have on your channel. You always said, I'm not a very good test taker. And I was like, wow, I can relate to that. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. So for those of you who are like, you know what? Don't listen to the agents or the people who have never done it before tell you, oh, you need a license to wholesale. Well, if they say that, ask them, have they ever done a wholesale deal before? And if the answer is no, then don't listen to them. You don't need a real estate license to get to fix and flip to wholesale. All right, you guys, you can be an investor. You don't need a license. Listen, okay? Yes. So, Zac, I want you to now, I want to dive in is kind of where, like where you're at financially and family wise. Like, do you have a family, kids?
Yeah, no, like I said, I just turned 23, so I'm kind of young and just starting this. But I dropped out of college, and it was the best decision that I've made so far in my life because I moved down into my parents' basement. That's where I'm at right now.
Oh yeah, see, that is what I'm trying to get to. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. That's why I'm wearing a hoodie because it's cold in Wisconsin and it's cold in my parents' basement.
Yeah, man. We all started from somewhere. And the thing is, you guys, as you are going through, like, I don't know what situation you're in, what you're going through. But let me tell you one thing is whatever that is that you are going through right now, let that be the most amazing story once you get to the top. Because like my story, like if I come out and I tell you guys, I grew up in a rich family, I got some money, so my mom and dad gave it to me for investing. You gotta be like, dude, I cannot relate to that. Like you know what I mean? So let your story be the inspiration once you made it. What's that, Zac?
Yeah, and most people can't. Most people can't relate to that. You know what I mean? There's only a handful of people that can relate, that can actually relate to that. So yeah, I'm in my parents' basement. Got a desk set up and cold calling since then. But yeah, I mean, my financial situation was I was broke, completely broke. My dad is a GC. He's a general contractor.
Okay.
So I was working with him on a few flips. And hold on, Khang. Sorry about that.
Hey, no problem, man. This is all real. No worry, dude.
Hopefully it's a motivated seller, right?
Well, the thing is, actually on my phone. So on my phone, basically we have some track number, right? So on my phone, the tracking number will pop up and it'll say motivated seller.
Oh, you do that through Google Voice?
No. So we actually use CarRail for our phone number, right? So right now we have 37 different phone number. So I will title the phone number, right? So I'll title that tracking phone number as motivated seller. So when the seller calls in, my phone will say motivated seller.
You gotta teach me how to do that. I've been answering all these random numbers and most of them are bill collectors. I'm like,
Yeah, man. If it's bill collector, you definitely want to put a VIP not to pick up, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
So, hey, dude, Zac, I want to say, man, thanks a lot for being real, dude. And that's the point that's the reason why I ask people the question is I want those that are listening to this understand that everybody, like, we all started from somewhere. Most
Yeah.
people don't start out so good. All right, you guys. And I want to say that let that be the stories, the inspiration story later on when you make it to the top, so you can tell people, so you can inspire and motivate other people of where you started and where you got to. So Zac, so basically you drop out of college.
Yep. Yep.
And you drop out of college and wanted to be a realtor.
I did. Yeah. I did at first.
Okay.
I don't really want to anymore. This wholesaling game is just, it's way too appealing to me. It's just so awesome. Seeing vacant houses, seeing people that need to sell their house and feeling like you can help them is just, it's such a cool feeling, you know? And then finding the diamond in the rough, like I did for my first one, it was the first thing that I did that made me a check, you know, an actual check. And it was such a good feeling. And it was just so appealing, and I'm never going to get out of it. It's such a cool business to be in.
Cool, man. I got to say, a great choice. When I first started, you know, when my wife and I first started, we also have realtor friends that say, hey, Khang, why don't you go get your license, or why don't your wife go get your license? That way, when you do fix and flip properties, you know, you guys can put it on the market, you guys can save. I say, dude, I'm not in here to be jack of all trades. I'm in here to dominate the investing world. I want to be the real estate investor, not the #1 real estate agent. So
Yeah.
we're like, no. Plus, I said, there's no way that my wife or I will pass the darn test.
Yeah. I
So,
feel you.
Yeah, man. Zac, so I said, dude, great choice. Now, do you have a job?
I do. I work with my dad probably 10, 15 hours a week just to get a few, you know, a couple $100 here and there every week. I work in the office with him, just taking calls and sending out requests for pricing from different, you know, plumbing companies or electrical companies, and trying to get bids from people for jobs.
Good.
He's a general contractor. So that's what I do a couple hours a week. But I'm so into this wholesaling thing, you just got to get obsessed, you know. And once you're obsessed with wholesaling, it takes over your mind, takes over your brain, everything you do. So I'm trying to go full on, full time into wholesaling.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely nice, man. So the thing is, you have some experience with some repair costs, so you're able to kind of figure out repair costs. That's good, man. That's a plus.
Yep.
So, Zac, let's jump into your first wholesale deal, bro. Tell us how you found the seller, how you found the property, how you found the buyer, and the whole process, bro.
Yeah, so driving for dollars, honestly, that was the only kind of lead generation system that I had, and I still have, really. Like I said, I've only done one deal, so I don't have much like experience yet, but that's what's exciting. So yeah, I was driving for dollars for probably 2 or 3 weeks, and then that day that I was going to take that real estate test was the day that I found the property. So I was driving around Milwaukee, and I saw a code violation on a door, and I got the number from the neighbors, and it had high grass, and there was some plastic inside the windows. Every window had plastic on the inside. So I was like, wow, it looks a little strange. It looks like it might be vacant. So yeah, I saw the code violation thing, and I went and knocked on the neighbors' doors. And the last neighbor that I knocked on, she knew him, and she had his number. He was nice enough to give it to me. So I called him, and that's where the learning started to really take over, because I didn't know anything really. I was just driving around neighborhoods looking for a property that looked pretty bad. You know what I mean? Distress. I found one of those, and I got the number from the neighbor. And then I called him up, and he was like, yeah, you know, it's been vacant for 2 years. The owner had some health problems. I think he busted his knee up pretty bad, and he had started rehabbing the whole place. And he broke his knee pretty bad and had some surgery, and he ended up moving out of the area right before he screwed his knee up. So it was like an hour-and-a-half drive for him to get to the house, keep fixing it up, and he just didn't want the burden anymore. He was done. He didn't want to keep paying the payments. He was having some health problems, like I said, so he was just done with it, and he really wanted to sell it. And I asked him if anybody else had called him on it, and he said not for the last few years. So yeah, I called him up, and he was talking to me about the the health problems he was having. And he was like, if you want to look at it, drive out to my house. I'll give you a key. So that's what I did. I drove out to his house, about an hour and 15-minute drive, got the key, and then me and my dad walked through there, and he kind of helped me with estimating the repair costs of it all. But it was a complete gut rehab. There was nothing in the house, nothing at all, and it was I think it was 2,100 square feet.
Okay.
So
And how many bedroom and bathroom?
each unit was a three. Each unit was a 3-1.
Okay.
It was an upper lower, and it's about 2,100, maybe 2,200 square feet, and it was a complete shell. It had all the walls, all the studs in place, but it was a huge project. And I think that actually helped me because I learned a lot more from it being, a huge project for an investor. So I was kind of skeptical on putting it under contract at first because it was such a big project, but I'm glad I did. And my dad told me we were looking over it, looking at the pictures, and we were saying, it probably needs $80,000 in repair costs to get it up and running. Not super expensive appliances or flooring or anything like that, but just enough to get it rented out. So yeah, so that was that. And we put that into consideration for our offer, and he owed $40K on it still, the owner. And he was like, you know what? I'll sell it for what it's worth, or for what I owe on it. He didn't really want to make anything on it. He was motivated. So I was like, all right, I'm going to put it under contract for 40, and I'm just going to figure it out after that. Put it under contract, and then the pressure's on. Then you got to find somebody. And at that point, Khang, I didn't even have a buyer's list. I had I didn't even really know what a cash buyer was. So yeah, I didn't have a buyer's list, but I started going to a lot of real estate meetups, and all around the counties around Milwaukee. Started going to a lot of real estate meetups. Got some of these. I got 500 business cards for like $40, and I was going around real estate meetups and picking them up to people and saying that I'm a new wholesaler. I have something under contract. If you're interested in buying it, come check it out. Send me an email, send me a text. Trying to build a buyer's list as fast as I could. Oh, and I should have said this, but I had a 30-day inspection contingency on it. So yeah, then the buyers kind of slowly started coming out of the woodwork, and I think I showed it to 5 people before I finally got somebody that wanted to do it. Everybody that I showed it to in the beginning, they were really looking for more cosmetic stuff, small repairs, and this was such a big project that they didn't want to take it on at that point. So yeah, it was a little nerve-wracking. All these buyers were coming through, and nobody was really liking it, and my inspection contingency was running out pretty quick. I think I went 20 days. And another thing I should have mentioned was my dad, for all of his construction jobs, he always uses an attorney. He's been like a really good family friend over the years. So he actually drafted up my offer for me. I had an attorney help me out. Just because I was new, I didn't know all the contingencies. I mean, I was going into this pretty much not knowing anything. And that's why it was such a learning curve. It was such a learning process. So the attorney drafted the offer for me. He charged me $200. I think I had like $350 in my bank account, so I was pretty much down to nothing after that. And that was also nerve-wracking. But yeah, the attorney drafted it up, and we got it over to the seller, and he accepted it for 40. And all these buyers were coming through. They didn't like it. They didn't want the big project. And I was like, oh, man, this might not work out. So the 22nd day, I think I waited till like a week before the inspection contingency was up to notify the attorney that I was going to back out. So I told him, I was like, yeah, I couldn't get a buyer together for this. I'm going to have to back out of this contract. And we found some things that we were walking around that we didn't really like. And so we told the attorney, you know what? We think that it's not going to work out. We're going to back out. And we'll look for the next deal. We'll keep you in mind to do the next one. And right after I told the attorney that, I had posted the deal on a Facebook page, on a Facebook real estate page. And some guy texted me off of that Facebook post. And the day that I was going to back out, he texted me and said that he wanted it. So it was super close. I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy. So, yeah, he texted me off the Facebook post that I put out, and he told me to send him over the pictures. He thought that area, the real estate market, was going to appreciate. So he thought that the ARV was higher than what I thought. We knew that the ARV was between like 160 and 180. And I had it under contract for 40, and it needed about 80, maybe 90K in work. So he knew that the real estate market was going to appreciate, and he was actually a landlord in that area. So I think he owned like 5 or 6 other properties in the area that the house that I flipped was in. So he was really interested in buying it. He actually bought it sight unseen. I just sent him over all the pictures. I think I had like 20 pictures. I think he was down in Houston when he contacted me, so he had me send him over the pictures, and then that day he sent the earnest money deposit into the title company, and then it was off from there. It was good to go. So I called the attorney that day, and I was like, I'm not backing out. Don't file the notice. I'm not backing out. And he was like, all right, sweet, found a buyer, awesome. And then a week later we were closed.
Awesome, bro. And you closed and you made $2,500 on it, correct?
Yep. I was originally going to go for a 5K assignment, but it was my first deal and I was nervous, and it was so close to the end that I just wanted it to be done. So the seller contacted me. He was like, would you do a $2,500 assignment instead of 5? And then I said, yeah, sure. If you're serious about buying it. And he said, I love it. I want it. And he sent the earnest money deposit into the title company that night. And then it went
awesome, man.
It was all smooth after that.
Awesome. Well, Zac, first off, man, I got a couple questions, but I want to say congrats, bro. You did it, bro. You did it. For those of you, what's that?
It feels good. It doesn't feel real at first, but then you get the check in your hands and you're like, wow, that actually happened.
There you go, man. There you go. See, the thing is that, what really got people to not to quit, because you maybe you're listening and you're going at this for a while, and you haven't seen results. Basically, you haven't closed your deal yet. And maybe some of you guys, when you're first in on something, like when you're first in a business, you get all excited, you get all pumped up, like you're like, yeah, man, yeah, I'm gonna go and crush it. And then 2 months in, you'll be like, oh shoot, nothing happened. 3 months in, 4 months in, 5 months in. Let me tell you guys one thing. That's why I'm telling you, closing your first deal is just super important, because that's when it becomes so real to you that you know that you can truly do this. It's not a make-believe. It's not a fantasy. You're hearing all these people that's doing it, but you're just still inside of you. You're like, can I really do it? Like, it doesn't feel real yet. So that's why when the first one is done, you guys, no matter what you do, I don't care how much you make, just get it done, and it will unleash the beast inside of you, and you're just going to crush it. All right. Because your confidence is going to go skyrocket. All right, you guys.
Yep.
So Zac, I think you might have already said this already, but I got distracted at the beginning. So how did you get into wholesaling? Like, was there video and audio or what?
Yeah, so I was going through my real estate classes, and they started mentioning investing and working with investors as agents and things like that in the real estate class or course that I was taking. And then I started thinking, what's this zero money down real estate investing that I keep hearing about? And then I realized that it was wholesaling. And so I started researching it on YouTube. I found your channel. I found Maxwell. I found Jalen. I found Devin Knupp. And I just started obsessing myself with their content and just going through it all 8 hours a day, just trying to soak in as much information as I can. And then I got to the point where I was like, you know what? I got to put some of this information to work. And I got to do something. I can't just sit here and watch YouTube all day. I got to actually find a deal. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I think that's some of the, I have a buddy of mine that's trying to get into wholesaling, and he knows more than I do about all the information, but he hasn't done a deal. And I'm sitting here thinking, you're in this analysis thing, and I'm not going to be like a coach after I only did my first deal, but I'm like, the only reason I have a deal under my belt is because I'm not trying to soak in information constantly 24/7. I'll try to find what I need and then go from there and do it. Take action. Don't just take notes and then don't do anything with the notes. You know what I mean?
Absolutely agree, man. Absolutely agree. Like, people comes to people and said, "Oh, I got a great idea. I got a great idea." And I heard this from Gary Vee. It's not about the ideas. It's not about the information you got. Like, you might sound smart. You might sound like you know everything, but it's the execution.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. I'm just learning that. But it's so true. It's just so true, because the people who are just stuck in the paralysis analysis wheel, they're not gonna get a deal done. Yep. I heard about a kid that spent like $80K on a real estate course for wholesaling, and he had never done a deal, and he hasn't done a deal to date. And now he's in all that debt. It's like, man, why don't you just use the information and go for it,
Yep.
So just massive action. I mean, I was driving for dollars for almost a month and not finding anything. And then finally that day before my test, I found something. And once you find something, you just got to go all in. You got to go all in, put it under contract, and just try to find a buyer as much as you can.
Gotcha, man. So for those of you who are like, "Hey, Khang, if I drive for a dollar, if I saw a piece of property, what should I do? Should I call them? Should I skip trace them? Like, what should I do?" Dude, do everything. And you see what Zac did? He went down, knocked the neighbor's house, bro.
Yep. Don't be afraid to talk to people you don't know. Don't be afraid to be comfortable.
Yep.
Comfortable the whole time. The closing, the talking to the seller, talking to the buyer. I was uncomfortable the entire time. You just can't be, you got to be comfortable getting uncomfortable.
Yep. And the thing is, let me tell you guys this. Those of you who are like, "Oh, I'm scared to go. It feels weird to go." Let me tell you this. Keep your eyes on the price. Your goal is to lock a deal up on the contract. Your goal is to, and you guys will be like, "Oh my God, why is Khang screaming again? He got a mic." Your goal, listen to me, your goal is to get a deal done. Who cares if they laugh at you? Who care if you knock on their door and they say, "Oh, get out of here. I don't know you. This is weird." Like, who cares? Just get that out of your head and just said, "Hey, I need to get a deal done." That's all it is.
Yep.
Okay, you guys. Now let's talk about, so the ARV, you figured the ARV is 160 to 180.
Yep.
It's a duplex. So after it's done, how much do you think it will rent for?
We're thinking, well, before the owner started rehabbing it, he had people in there renting it for $800 a month. Each
800, okay.
Yep. But we're thinking with it all redone and fixed up, he might be able to get $900, maybe $1,000 per year. Gotcha.
Okay, so let's go conservative. Okay, yeah, guys, I'm gonna do some number here for you guys to understand. So 900 bucks a unit. One is completely done, and the remodel, the estimated rehab is 80 to 90, and this is rent, right? This is a rent remodel, not a fix and flip remodel. So it doesn't need granite countertops, stainless steel appliances. I want you guys to get a concept of this. The duplex is about 2,200 square feet per unit. That puts it at about 1,100 square feet per side. It's a 3-bedroom, 1 bath, and the estimated repair is between 40 to 45K, completely done per unit. And this is complete rehab. Zac, tell me if I'm wrong. Electrical, plumbing, flooring, interior, exterior paint, drywall. It's everything. The whole thing.
The whole thing. Some of the plumbing was there, and the HVAC, like some of the duct work, he had just put in new duct work. So some of that didn't need to be updated, but pretty much it all needed to be updated. I mean,
Got it.
It was pretty much a shell.
Gotcha. So the reason why I'm breaking this down for those of you who are having trouble estimating repair costs and say, "Hey, Khang, well, I don't know how to estimate repair costs, and that's why I can't make the offer to the seller." Don't let that hold you up. Just take an estimate, right? So that's why I'm breaking this down for you guys, or call a couple contractor and and tell them what the seller tells you, and just get a rough number from them. Like,
Yep.
I don't care if you're overthinking it or you're underthinking the repair costs. Just get the number and make the offer. So it's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, roughly about 1,100 square feet per unit, per side. Total rehab, complete rehab, 40 to 45K per unit. Now, this buyer, is he keeping it as a rental, or is he flipping it, Zach?
He's gonna keep it as a rental. He wanted
Gotcha.
this portfolio a little bit, so yeah, he
Gotcha. So he got it for 40K, or actually he got it for, let's say he all in around 45, right? Because he pays you 2,500 plus the closing costs and all the fees.
Yep.
So the buyer, Zach locked it up on a contract for 40K. He sent it out for 45. Buyer negotiates and somehow got the deal done at 42.5.
Yep.
Buyers pay all the closing costs. Okay. Seller owes 40K. So seller will walk away, no money, break even, because buyers take care of all the closing costs and all the fees. And what do you have to put down for earnest money, Zach?
I gave the seller $100 just to do it, just to make it binding. I didn't really need to. He didn't ask for it, but I wanted to, just in case. So
you gave it to him, or you gave it to him, or you gave it to the attorney?
Or I gave it to the title company. Sorry.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. I don't want to confuse you guys. You don't give your earnest money to the seller. Whether you're using a title company or an attorney, the earnest money goes to the title company or the attorney. Earnest money means that within that 30 days period, if Zach can't, doesn't want to move forward to buying the property, or he can't find another buyer, that he has the rights to back out and get his earnest money back. All right, you guys? So let me see here. So you mentioned about Meetup. So did you join a meetup.com kind of thing?
Well, it was a Facebook group that it's a bunch of investors from Milwaukee. They're all in a big Facebook group. So I got in contact with the administrator, or whatever you want to call it, from the Facebook group, the person that runs it. Mm-hmm. She let me in to the group. It was like a private group. And she let me in, and then I posted my deal with all the numbers and pictures. I posted that post to the Facebook group, and so I probably got 15 buyers just from that, just contacting me, asking about the numbers and pictures, and so that was a good way to build your buyers list. Honestly, go on the Facebook groups and put something in there to make people know that you're coming across off-market deals and cheap deals, and they will contact you, and they will get a hold of you. So yeah, I probably got 12 or 15 buyers from that on the list. And then finally, the last day, I got a guy that texted me from that post. He wanted it. So he actually I think he owns 4 or 5 other properties on the same street.
Gotcha. Okay. So for those of you who are trying to build up your buyers list, is another way is, beside your local RIA, is go just go and search meetup.com, and then just search in the area wherever you're in and put real estate investing. There should be a local meetup where they gather all the investors, agents, agents and fix and flipper landlords. So they host like a little meetup, and then you go there, and that's where you also go there to click your cash buyer. So so after he's completely done, so let me tell you guys what the buyer will be all in at, all right? So the ARV is about, you estimated 160 to 180, Zach?
Yep.
And you mentioned that the buyer thinks that the ARV is more?
He thinks that it will be more when he's done with it, because the area that the house is in is really close to downtown, and it's in a decent area. And about 3 blocks closer to downtown, it's a really hot area for renting and people that are doing fix and flipping. So he thinks it's going to stretch over a little bit. So yeah,
gotcha.
It'll be worth more in a short time.
Sure. So Zach, let me ask you, man, this area, is it a B, or C, or D neighborhood?
As in like D being like war zone?
Yeah.
I would say it's B- or C+.
Okay. So
it's middle.
Okay, so what's that?
Middle class for sure.
Sure. So middle class.
Yeah.
Okay, and the reason why I asked So after it's completely done, it's 900 per unit. So which means the buyer will get this. So the buyer will bring in about 1,800 bucks in total rent, and the buyer got it for all in for 135 because he'll be paying for it 45K, and I take 45 plus 90. Okay, that puts him all in at 135 because we estimated, let's go high and saying it's going to cost about 90K to fix both unit up. So the buyer will be all in at 135, and he's bringing 1,800 bucks in rent. You guys, like that is more than the 1% rules as far as in rent wise, right? Most area, what people go for when they buy rental property is the 1% rules. And what the 1% rule is, if they are completely done rent ready, and if they can rent the if they all in, if they pay 100,000 bucks for the house, they want to get back 1,000 bucks in rent. I mean, in my area, if I can get that, I'll buy it all day long. So in this area, I want to ask you now, Zac, did you figure out what is landlord, or what is the what are people that buy and keep a rental, like, do you know what they like to buy it at?
Well, not exactly. I mean, it ranges very, it's a broad range in that area. Some houses sell for 60, some houses sell for 220. You know what I mean? So Milwaukee is so weird. The real estate market is sometimes by street, and that's what I'm learning. It's so, the market's so bipolar in Milwaukee. It's like one street, the houses will be
Sure.
much, a block over, they're worth twice as much. You know what I mean? So
Sure.
area, I mean, in that area, I think right around 150 for a single family, 140 for a single family, probably.
Right. But what I want to know from you is that, do you know, you might not know because maybe you just got in, but do you know what landlord, like people that buys and hold, do you know, like, what are they return on investment or ORI or a cap rate is?
Yeah, no, I'm not really sure. Again, it ranges so much in that area. I'm not really sure. He just thought that the ROI was there. He liked the ROI.
Sure.
So that's why he went for it. But no, I'm not really sure.
Gotcha.
That area is pretty far from my house. It was kind of out there. I think it was 2 counties up from me. So it was up there. So I'm trying to stick around my county a little bit more.
Cool.
All the marketing that I've done since that deal has been in my county. So I'm not really too familiar with the area, but he liked the ROI of it, and that's why he did it.
Gotcha. And the thing is, you guys, I'm asking Zac all these questions is because I want you guys to, I want you guys to get as much you can on your assignment fee, right? And a lot of times you might have the right deal, but you haven't found the right buyer. All right, you guys. So sometimes you do have the right deal, like you do have a deal, but because your buyers list is so limited that you don't have enough buyer on your list. And let me share something with you. I put deal under we put deal under contract, and some of our deals, like we send it out to, like, if we get into a new area and we send it out to our buyers, and then we get like 5 buyers that said, no, the number doesn't work, it's too high, the rehab cost doesn't work, this and that. But guess what, you guys? There are people out there that, like, and the thing is that, and when we get price come back, everybody price was different, right? So let me give you an example. We just sent out a deal for, I think we lock it up on a contract for like 140. We sent it out to our buyer for 175. We got one buyer came back, offer us 120. We got a buyer, another buyer came back and offered us 130. We got another buyer that came back and said we can't go any higher than 150. So what I'm telling you is that a lot of time you do have a deal, but you might don't have the right buyers. So you just got to keep on market and hustle and try to market that deal. All right, you guys? Because it happens to me like multiple times, like a lot of times already. And a lot of times where, like, and then right now we're about to show to another buyer, and this buyer might comes in with full price. And that's where I'm telling you, like everybody, buyers look at a deal differently. I understand that there is the formula, right? There is the formula that you go by, but a lot of times is that some of these buyers might be their own they might be the general contractor. Where they go in, they're going to do the work themselves. So they look at it like, I'm going to put in my sweat equity, and I'm just buying materials, right? The labor is what costs the most. So so this buyer comes in, look at completely different than another buyer comes in that said, hey, I have to sub everything else out. I have to sub everything else out. So my cost, instead of, you know, 20,000, this rehab is going to cost me 50,000. So
yeah, that's actually exactly what my buyer was going to do. He was going to sub it out, and he thought that he could get it done for less than the rehab cost, just because his connections. So yeah, like you said, every buyer's different. Every buyer has their own preference. And I was sitting there thinking, after the 5th or 6th buyer that I ran through there, I was sitting there thinking that
it's not a deal.
It's not a deal.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this isn't a deal. I was so pissed off at myself, you know, because I didn't analyze it right. If there's a chance of it being a deal, there'll be somebody that's interested.
Yep. And another thing is that, you know, another thing is, Zac, have you ever thought, like, you know, and some of you guys get discouraged, and I do too, you know, when you first started and you're first going at this, especially getting 4 or 5 buyers telling you that it's not a deal, it's not a deal, it's not a deal, and they're coming in very low, right, lower than what you got it under contract for, so you feel really discouraged and feel like, yeah, maybe it is not a deal. But what I'm telling you is sometimes you do have a deal, but you just got to do massive action, do whatever you can. And yeah, and there are times where you just got to walk, right? Maybe you try everything already, you did everything you can, and then you just can't, and then that's when you got to walk. But what I'm saying is, just don't get discouraged, and then have your energy just drop by hearing 1 no, 2 no, 3 no. Just keep going. If you have time on that agreement, just keep on going. Now, Zac, did you ever thought about going back and renegotiate with the seller to extend it, or you just want to cancel the deal?
Well, I thought about that. I did, but after, like I said, like the 6th person that saw it told me, no, it's not a deal. The best they could do is probably 30. I was like, oh, it's not even worth it at that point. Mm-hmm. So that last day that I had, I gave the seller I would have given the seller a little bit of heads up too. I was gonna cancel it on like the 21st or 2nd day to give him like yeah, that last day is when somebody finally was interested in it. But after hearing 5 or 6 no's and you're crazy, this isn't a deal from people, it's discouraging, and you don't think you have. But at that point, I encourage anybody to give it one last ditch effort. You know what I mean? One last good college try, as they say, to try to find somebody, because there's somebody out there that'll do it and that'll want to take on a project like that if it's a deal. If it's not a deal, you're kind of screwed. But.
Yeah, right. Gotcha. So let me share another thing with you guys. When you come across this kind of number where you're getting it for 40, seller just super motivated. All right. So listen up, you guys. I want to share something with you. When you come across like this wide of a number, ARV is like 160 to 180. Seller's motivated to sell for, like, you got under contract for 40. Let me share something with you guys. You can go back to the seller, and all you need to do is say this to the seller, and you leave it up to the seller, whichever. So let's just say you try. Let's just say, basically, I'm sharing with you, like, if you were in Zac's situation, all right, you try, you get so many buyers come back and say no, but you felt like, man, it could be a deal. I just want to get, I just want to need a little bit more time. But you'd obviously want to give the seller a heads up as well, because you don't want to swing the seller. Go back and tell the seller and leave it in their court and say, hey, you know what, Bob? So here's where we're at. We got some contractors to go through the property already. It needs a lot of work. We really want to make this, we really want to make this work. We love the property. We want to move forward to buy the property. But we just need more time. We need more time to find a contractor that's willing to do the work for less, so that way we can make the number work. And if you're willing to give us more time, we're willing to keep on going and try to find that, because it costs us time, it costs us money, but we also want to make sure that that's something that you're okay with. All right, you guys. So you can go back and tell the seller that, so you can extend it out. And I have done that multiple times, you guys. Is saying that, we like the property, we want, because what they're afraid is, if you come back and they're just afraid that you're not wanting the property anymore, and that you're going to come back and try to renegotiate and try to get a lower price from them, yada, yada, yada. But if you come back and you just tell them, you know what, we love the property. We want, we want to move forward, but we just got to make the number work. And then just tell them that, just ask them if they are okay with extending it. And you just, you're trying to find a contractor that's willing to come in and work in your number to make it work for both parties. And typically when the seller is super motivated, that they can, that they're willing to extend it for you. And now the seller understand that at this price, it potentially might not go through, might not be a deal. So you're not stringing them on because you tell them that this might not work. So they're willing to extend it so you can continue finding that right person. And you tell them, when we find that contract that's willing to come in and do for what it works, then we're ready to move forward to close on it. But as of right now, like we can't seem to make the number work, but we really keep on wanting to pursue this. All right, and make it work and come out win-win for everybody, and take this off your hand. So so that's something that you guys can try. All right, that's just my my little tips. I do it all the time, and it works. And the seller knows that at that price there, if we go on for another 30 days, we can't find it. They know that the deal is going to be done, but they still want to pursue it because they're motivated. And now that they have a potential buyer, and we're telling them that, hey, we're going to do everything we can. It's going to cost us time. It's going to cost us money, but that's something that we're willing to take on because we do like the property and want to buy it. All right, you guys. So that's just a little tips. Now, let me see here, Zach. So how much was the non-refundable? Did you have the buyer put down?
He wanted it so bad. He was like, I want it. I'll put down 5,000. I was like, okay, sweet.
Dang, bro.
Yeah.
So he puts down 5,000 non-refundable?
Yep.
Now,
he sent it into the title company.
Nice, man. So now here's my question for you. The next question is that, did he ask you up front how much your assignment fee was?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he knew I was wholesaling it. Yep.
Right. But did he ask you your assignment fee amount?
No, he didn't ask me until I sent him the assignment contract. Yep.
So wait. Hold on. So Zach, so you sent it out to him for $45K.
Yep.
He agreed to the.
I sent it out to him at $42,500. I told him originally 45. Then he was like, "Would you take 42,500?" And I said yes.
I see. Okay, gotcha. So basically, he already renegotiated with you on the price.
Yeah.
Before knowing how much you make, or already know how much you make. Very important.
Before knowing.
Okay, so before he knew how much so you basically sent it out for 45, and he came back to you and said, "Hey, man, would you do for 42,500?"
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay, there's a difference, and the reason why I want to point that out because some the buyer will be, like they're okay with whatever price that you sent out to them. They're like, "Yep, I'm ready to go." All of a sudden, they saw your assignment. They'll be like, "Oh my gosh, he's making typically 5,000, 10,000." Most buyers don't really care. It depends on the area, but when you get to like the 20 to 25, then all of a sudden your buyer sees it, your buyer be like, "Oh, come back and renegotiate." So I just kind of want to get ask the question, see where this buyer's at.
Yeah.
Cool, man. And how long did he close on it?
It took him, I think it took him 4 days.
Nice, bro.
It was
4 days.
Quick. We already had the information from the title company already and stuff like that. But yeah, he said 4 days, which was kind of nerve-wracking because that 4 days was so the inspection contingency running out. It was like a day before it. So I was thinking, if the buyer doesn't show up for some reason, if he backs out at the last minute, I'm going to have 1 day to tell the seller that I'm backing out. You know what I mean? So it was kind of, but it worked out fine.
Cool, man. And also too is you guys, Zach, I don't know if you do a lot of the negotiation, but here's another tips, man. Like when it comes to that, like don't stress too much, you guys. What it is, you can always come back and renegotiate with the seller. Just say, hey, you know what? My partners or my team manager, whoever it is, right? My team manager, my partners, you guys, there's some issue coming up here with some, whatever the situation, there's some issue coming up here. So we might be delayed to close. It's probably going to take us a couple more days, blah, 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 blah. So that way, so you just tell the seller, hey, we might need to extend this out for another couple of days or so. And when it gets to that point where it's so close, like the seller's already been going in, asking for a couple of days or a week or whatever it is, to extend it out, usually seller won't have a problem. But the thing is, I understand, man, nothing is done until it's done, until the check and the money is your bank account.
Yep. Once you get that check, that's when it feels real. It doesn't feel
Awesome.
until you get it.
Yep. Nope. Hands down. Agree. And also too is you already got the buyers to put down $5K non-refundable, dude. If the buyer backs out, you'd be like, bravo. You know what? You'd be like, hell. You'd be like, man, I make more than if I were to assign. You know, if we were to close on it.
Yeah, and that's another thing that I was kind of thinking about too. I mean, he's gonna lose $5K if he backs out of this.
Yeah, man.
It's gone. So why would he back out at that point?
Yep. And the thing is, that's why you guys is so important to get the buyer to drop off, like try to get them to put down like as much non-refundable as you can, because that's when they have skin in the game. So when they do back out, what you can do with that non-refundable money is you can come back and buy more time from the buyer. Buy, B-U-Y, buy more time from the buyer and say, Mr. Buyer, you know what, my partner, for some reason, he got some stuff coming up where he's now not moving forward. You know what, but we have some other partners that might want to take this on, but we just needed more time to actually pitch this to them. So, you know, with that being said, sorry for the inconvenience, but we would like to offer you some money for that. And I wanted to know what makes sense for you. You know, give them a couple numbers, $200, $300. Don't give them a price. Ask them, because a lot of time their number might be a lot lower than yours. Okay, you guys? And then you can use that non-refundable, give the seller some money, and then extend it out. Get another 30 days, 45 days, whatever it is. So you guys, I want you guys to know that you can always renegotiate. Money will solve 99% of your problem in real estate. All right?
Yeah, there's always an option.
Gotcha, man. So, Zac, dude, I want to bring you back on because knowing where you are right now, bro, I want to bring you back on a year later. So my question for you right now is, where are you at, and what are you doing to generating leads, and what are you doing with that $2,500? Because I have people ask me that all the time.
Yeah. So right now, I went online as soon as I got that check in my bank account. I went online and started researching tax defaults.
Mm-hmm.
Going on the county website and looking up tax defaults. It's public record. So I was doing that. I was handwriting letters. For the last 2 weeks, I've been handwriting letters just because I want to use that $2,500 as wisely as I can. So then I bought some of these, actually. Can't go wrong with the bandit signs.
Heck yeah! Where's all the bandit sign people at? Smash the thumbs up.
Yep. So yeah, I'm just starting putting those out. I got 250 of those. And then I bought some lists and I got them skip traced from Batch Skip Tracing. And so far their numbers have been so accurate. Their phone, especially their mobile phone numbers. So I highly suggest batchskiptracing.com.
Batch, B-A-T-C-H.
Yep. Batch.
I've never heard of it. Batch skipping.
Yeah. Batchskiptracing.com. Yep.
Batchskiptracing.com. Okay. Now, bandit sign. What's that?
I heard about that from a Wholesaling Inc. podcast that I listened to. Some guy.
Nice, bro.
Yeah, and I think it's 35 cents a lead, so it's not too bad. And almost every mobile phone number that I've had is correct, is accurate. So I highly suggest it. So yeah, just cold calling now and bandit signs. Nice,
man. So bandit sign, you got 250 signs?
Yep.
How much did that cost you?
I think it was $300, $290, something like that.
Okay, $300 for 250 bandit sign. And what is? People ask me, what is the width of the bandit sign? Like how big is it?
Yeah, I think they're 18 by 24, so they're pretty big.
18 by 24. All right, you guys.
Yep. And then I didn't want to buy the H stakes. You know, the stakes that you see.
Yeah.
I bought a big giant box of industrial size zip ties. I've been zip tying them to light poles and, you know, trying to get them out anyway. But the light poles and the stop signs get a little weird sometimes with the police and shit like that.
Yeah.
I've already gotten a call on it, but all they do is take them down. They're not.
Yeah.
I mean, unless they're really bad. Don't zip tie them to stop signs though. That's a bad idea.
Gotcha, man. Now, hey, Zac, dude, when did you? I actually forgot to ask you this, but maybe you have already told me. So when did you start? Like when did you initially start? like in
When
the
did
real
I
estate?
first hear about it?
What's
Oh,
that? Yeah. I want to know when did you
yeah.
first hear about it and then took action?
So I heard about it a little bit before my birthday. My birthday is September 26th. So I heard about it. I heard about wholesaling probably the middle of September.
Mm-hmm.
So just not very long ago, 2, 3 months ago, I started really getting into it. So
Dang,
yeah,
bro.
and I heard
Dude.
about the real estate courses, and I was really going to be an agent. I was looking into it really hard, and like I said, I had a job lined up, being like an assistant to an agent,
Mm-hmm.
and I learned about wholesaling. I haven't even thought about getting my real estate license. I
Dude, Zach.
don't want to do it anymore. You know, I want to.
Yeah, man. Don't, bro.
Yeah, you don't need it. You don't need it.
Why work? Why cap at a commissions when you can make as
Yeah,
much as you want, bro?
that's what turned me off of the idea right there.
Yep. Awesome, man. So now, dude, Zach, I want to say bravo, man. Dude, that is freaking massive action taking right there, bro. Starting
Thank you.
September, discover mid-September, and then you within 2-3 months close the deal, dude. You did way better than I did, bro. Awesome.
I'm trying to get where you're at, Khang.
What's that?
I'm trying to get where you're at.
Soon, bro. Soon you will, dude. And maybe you will succeed me, and then you come back and interview me for my first wholesale deal. So Zach, so we're gonna wrap this up, man. Now, any last I want any word, any tips, any advice for those that are obviously haven't got their first wholesale deal done and they're still cranking it out, man.
Yeah, I think that the only reason why I got one done is because I was just, and I still am, just get obsessed. Obsessed. Absolutely obsessed. Don't let anything else come into your head. All night long, all day, just think about it. Do whatever you can to figure out how to work your way through a deal. It was such a learning curve. It was such a learning process that it was so fun. That's the whole thing about this. Doing deals is so fun. And I've only done one, and I'm having a blast. And now going on appointments and meeting new people and seeing how they need help. People need help getting out of their burdensome properties. You find a whole new twist on it when you take massive, massive action. Just do it every day. Just do something. Write down a goal. I have a goal on my desk that I tape to my desk. Write down a goal, and every day do something. It doesn't matter what it is, but every day do something to get you to your first deal. Make progress every day, and it'll happen quick. I mean, it took me a month and a half. You have to do it every single day. You have to make progress. So that's my tip. Just do something every day to get you towards your goal of doing a deal.
Awesome, man. Awesome, man. You guys, when I get like these youngster, right? They're in their early 20s or they're in their early 20s and they're just coming out and want to build a future for themselves so they can, work for themselves, have their own business, build their own empire. Man, dude, it pumps him up and motivate me so much because it's the new generation. You guys have so much, you guys have so much like go at it, like the go-getter, GOAL,
Yeah,
go-getter.
Yeah, I like that. Don't be afraid to ask questions either. Ask people as many questions as you can. You're going to be uncomfortable no matter what. I mean, you're going to be scared no matter what.
Yep.
Might as well just harness that in and just realize that you're going to be nervous and uncomfortable, and then just go be nervous and uncomfortable, because that's how you're going to learn.
Awesome, man. And the thing is, you guys, when Zach said that when I first started, it was the same thing. I felt like my question is stupid. I felt like it's common sense. I felt like I didn't want to ask it. People probably going to laugh at me because it's a stupid questions. And then I heard some guy said, hey, if you ask, you only be stupid for like a minute or so. But if you don't, you'll be stupid forever because you will never know the answer to your questions. All right, you guys? So, Zach, dude, wrapping it up, man, for those that wants to connect with you, JV Deal, wants to chat with you, wants to, wants to work with you, how can they?
Yeah, I would say hit me up on Facebook. ZACNASH, pretty easy. Look me up. You can hit me up on Instagram as well. It's Znash, N2S. That's my Instagram. Anybody that wants to do JV deals, I'm super into it. I'm down to do one. I haven't done one yet, so I want to learn the JV process as well. So anybody that has some deals in the Milwaukee area, just let me know. And I have a pretty good buyers list now of about 100 people. So, and they're really actively looking for deals. So if anybody needs a buyer, let me know. Definitely do a JV.
Awesome, man. Zach, do you have your own channel? So they can connect with you on Facebook, Insta,
Yeah.
and I'll make sure you guys, I'll drop all of that in the description. Facebook, Insta, and then do you have a channel, bro?
YouTube channel, not yet. I mean, it's set up. I don't have any videos yet, but I'm gonna try to get a camera here for Christmas and start documenting this stuff because it's so fun. It's just so fun. So I'm gonna have one soon, but not yet.
Cool, man. And the thing is, why I say that, Zach, is because I've heard Gary Vee said, and that's what makes me start at one, is because he said, hey, don't create, document. He said, don't create, documentate. There's so many people out there that's already, like he said, don't need to create content, document, because people loves to watch people's journey.
Yeah, real world stuff, you know?
Yep. And the thing is, man, it's like when you build up your audience, it just opened up so much door. That's all.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes,
YouTube's coming soon.
Awesome, bro. Awesome, bro. So when you do, drop me an email, let me know, and I'll pop it in the the description.
Cool. Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Hey, man, thank you so much for taking your precious time to come on. I want to say thank you so much, man, and I want to say congrats. You're doing awesome, bro. Keep on going, dude.
Thanks so much, man. And everybody watch his content because it's the best on YouTube. It's so good. It's so good. You got so many gems every time.
Thanks, man. Thanks. I really appreciate it. All right, you guys, we're going to wrap it up. For those of you who are new to the channel, if you are exposed to wholesale, listen up. Take these opportunities, just like Zach said, be obsessed, dive into it. First, you got to believe that this business is possible. Don't listen to the naysay. Don't listen to people who have not done deals or not wholesale before tell you that it's illegal. Tell you that it's impossible. Tell you that these are people that's just trying to sell you stuff. You know, don't listen to them. Let me tell you, man, I have the work ethic. I was a hard worker, but I was working hard for somebody else for too long, for 8 years, because I was not exposed to something amazing like this. All right. What's wholesaling is, you guys, you can make as little as you want, as high as you want. There is no cap. Sky is the limit. There are people in this game are making between $500,000 to $1 million a month wholesaling. You don't need to start with a boatload of money because you're not buying these property. What you're doing is you're going out there, you're finding motivated seller, which means these sellers, they're not wanting to sell, but they need to sell. All right. They are willing to sell to you at a discounted price because they're in a situation, maybe they inherit a property, just like this one property been sitting vacant for a long time. They have a mortgage on it and they don't want to pay it. Maybe they're in a foreclosure, or maybe they're in a divorce situation, but they're in a situation where they're willing to sell to you at a discount price. Your job is to lock that deal up on a contract, negotiate with them, lock it up on a contract at a discounted price, and that gives you a right, equitable interest to now either move forward to buy the property, or you go out there and you find a cash buyer that's willing to pay you more for it, and you just assign that contract over to them and make a large profit. There are people in there that just one deal, we did over $6-figure, over $100,000 on one deal. And the thing is, you guys, one deal will change your life. All right. And if you haven't followed me on Instagram, hit me up at Khang, Khang, like a period, WTM. Next week, next week, Zach, I'm going to a Collective Genius Powerhouse meetup, bro. These guys in there are doing are doing like $3, $4, $500,000 to $1 million a month wholesaling, bro. So I'm gonna do a lot of video for it. So those of you who wants to see it right away, follow me up on IG, and you guys will be seeing a lot of video coming up.
Sweet. Where are you going? Where's that at?
So they host it 4 times a year, and it lasts for about 7 days or so. It's in California, and then the next one is in March. That's going to be in like Florida.
Sweet. So that's
man.
Long. Wow. That's
yep.
awesome.
So I'm gonna go. So the thing is, you guys, my wife and I, when we decided to go there's 2 reasons. One, we need to find new friends that are like, friends that are just higher up. And then 2 is obviously to learn from them. But for us, it's like, hey, let's go and find somebody 50% is just having fun, right? Doing something else for fun. And then the other 50% is obviously go and learn from it and take our, our life or business to the next level. Because you cannot do the same thing and expect a different results, you guys. You guys can't do the same thing. Can't go to your job every single day and just study, and don't take any action and expect things to change. All right? So you got to take massive action. You can't do the same things and expect a different result. Sometimes you got to take some chances, take some risks, and try new things. All right, you guys? So anyways, you guys, thank you so much for your time. I hope you guys enjoyed this interview. Zac drops a lot of information, a lot of nuggets. I hope you guys take information and stop analyzing and paralyze and take massive actions. I want you to pick up a call somebody, call some realtors. Zac, print out some business card, come up with a name. Maybe you haven't found up with a company name. Come up with a company name, but just start getting that wheels going, you guys. And the things is all the puzzle will come together to you as you take action and keep on going. So thanks a lot, everybody. I hope you guys are having a great day. And if you haven't subscribed, I don't know what you're waiting for. Smash the subscribe button. And don't be shy if you do enjoy this interview and got some information from this, some nuggets from this. And if you find it valuable, smash the thumbs up for us. Take care, you guys. Have a great day. Thanks, Zac.